Yahar mateys! Welcome to the Seas. This is Damron. We're playing the Sunken Kingdom update in Sea of Thieves, part of Season 4. This update brought us a lot of new commendations to get. We got a lot of new underwater shrines to explore, some new coral treasures, lots of really cool stuff in this update. And we're going to get all the commendations in this section of our Bildretch journal. I'm doing it a little bit differently. I'm kind of separating this with a lot of different smaller videos because there's a lot of different shrines and a lot of different things that have their own kind of secret journal locations and puzzles. So I'm kind of separating them. And in this particular video, we're going to be covering the Shrine of the Coral Tomb. As I've mentioned in all the prior shrine videos, I just want to briefly mention the coral message in a bottle. Okay, you can find those in the same locations that you can find normal messages in a bottle, other than barrels. Okay, but you can find them washed up ashore. You can find them floating in the water by killing a skelly ship, and it's going to give you a mission to go to one of the new shrines or the treasuries. And if you go to that shrine or treasury with a coral message in the bottle in your inventory, that's how you can get the Breath of the Sea treasures. Now you can still explore these shrines, you can still go down there, get the journals, get the non-Breath of Sea treasures like the coral chests and skulls and things like that, but unless you have a coral message in the bottle active, the Breath of Sea treasures will not be in these shrines. So just keep that in mind as we're doing these shrines and these treasuries. So this particular one we're going to be heading to is in H4/5. It's the Shrine of the Coral Tomb, and we're going to swim all the way to the bottom as we normally do, and kind of from the west-northwest side. Once you get all the way to the bottom, turn around and you're going to see this kind of airlock that you can interact with, and then you'll be able to plop into the Shrine of the Coral Tomb. This is a pretty cool shrine. It's kind of a shorter one. There's not much to it. There's kind of like a lot of lever-like puzzles that you just have to find. And so when we're ready to get rolling, we're going to drop down into this water slide. It's kind of a long water slide. It's actually pretty cool, so enjoy that. We'll skip ahead, and it's eventually going to launch you into this open room where you can see some doors that are around you that are inaccessible, as well as multiple other things. The first thing that we want to do is grab our first journal, and if you swim underwater down to the east by southeast portion of this large circular stone structure, right next to this ammo chest is our first journal. So heading back up to the water surface, if you look to the northeast, you're going to see a mural of a siren on the wall with similar symbols that we're used to reading from left to right, being gem, coral, and chain. And that's going to correspond to the levers that we have to pull in those particular orders. And that's going to make a little bit more sense as we do this. Also, if you look around the room, you notice a blue door, a yellow door, and a red door. The yellow and red are closed, and the blue one is open, and in that blue door is a lever with a chain symbol. So what we need to do is we interact with the levers in the correct order. Swim down into the east, and you'll see a lever with a gem symbol above it. From that lever, if we turn and head to the northwest, you're going to swim past this pillar, and you're going to find the second lever right behind this large stone pillar, and that's going to have the coral symbol on it. Now heading back up to the surface, if we go to that blue entryway where the lever was with the chain symbol, we interact with that. Now we've done them in the order that the mural says, which is the gem, the coral, and the chain, and it's going to activate the siren statue right here. So activating those levers in the correct order is going to do one of two things. One, it's going to spawn some sirens in the room that you're going to have to deal with. So there's going to just be like two of them. You need to kill them. And also it's going to open two new passageways that we can go into. So after we've taken out those sirens, the first thing we need to do is go into one of those pathways to get our second journal. Now, if you look to the northwest corner of the room, now we have access to this pathway, and if we go back into this pathway, you'll find the second journal right here up against a rock. From this journal, now we're going to interact with our yellow levers to progress the shrine. So from this journal, if you just look to your right, okay, right beside it, we're going to have a first lever. We're going to do this in the same order. So we're going to hit the gem first, then we're going to drop down into the water. And if you go into the south portion, you'll see an opening that has now opened since we activated the blue levers. Follow this path around and we're going to find our second lever with the coral symbol all the way at the back of that path. Now we can head back into the main kind of area of the shrine up top, and we can go into the yellow entryway that has the chain symbol lever on it and interact with that. And now that will also activate the main shrine for a second time. Similar to the first time that we interacted with the levers, this will also spawn a couple sirens in that you're going to have to deal with, and also open 2 new areas that we can access that we previously could not get to. So go ahead and take care of those siren enemies, and once we've done that, now you'll notice that the entryway to the red chain lever is open. So just like the 2 levers before, now we need to find the correct levers in the right order, and that's going to start by heading back underwater to the southwest, and you're going to see a new opening with some red coral. Swim to the back of that, and we're going to find our first lever that has the gem symbol on it. Heading out of this, now we're going to go across the other way to the northeast, and on the way to the second lever is actually our third journal. And again, this isn't going to be open until you've done the blue and yellow levers, but as soon as you go through this opening, look down and to the right beside this red coral for our third journal. From that journal, just continue along this path all the way to the end, and you're going to find another lever there with the coral symbol. So now that we've activated the gem and the coral, we can go back up to the surface and activate the red lever that is in the red entryway with the chain symbol. So now that you have successfully interacted with the blue, yellow, and red levers in the correct order, water in the shrine will begin to rise, and we will be able to access the end of the area. Before we head up though, head to the west side. Now that the water has risen, you can get into this entryway up here. Again, this is to the west, and head back a little ways, and we're going to find our next journal right in front of this skull pile. Now if we head back out to the main portion, now we can head northeast, okay? And we can actually climb this path that was previously not accessible now that the water has risen. And if we come up here, there's going to be a lot of treasure for you to collect. There's going to be the stone merfolk statue for you to turn it into. And just to the right of that, right in front of this stone, is our 5th and final journal of this shrine. Alright, so the last thing we need to know is where the Breath of the Sea shrine location is. From the journal, if you just turn around, you'll see this red coral kind of, platform here. If you do have a coral bottle quest active for this shrine, that is where your Breath of Sea treasure will be located. So the last thing to do is to collect all your treasure in the shrine. You've completed it. We've gotten all the journals. We did everything related to the commendations. So you can, collect your treasure and head out whenever. And when you get back up to the surface, be sure you collect all your loot from the merfolk that comes and brings it all up for you in his clan backpack. So I hope you guys found that helpful. As always, the Coral Tomb shrine is really cool. I've really enjoyed all these underwater shrines. So I hope you were finding it helpful, and hopefully I'll see you on the seas.